In life, guys, you cannot have a testimony without a test. Adversity is one of the key ingredients in your success journey. You have to keep the hope alive for this thing to happen. You will get tested for the life that you say you want to live. You say, I believe that the struggle that you are facing is just a test to see if you are who you say you are. There is always a lesson behind every problem. We need to get rid of that victim mentality. When God is involved, things are not going to make sense. It takes you through all these challenges, knowing that you have what it takes to overcome them. All those setbacks are just a setup, right, to a big comeback.
Stay strong. Don't you ever give up. From nothing to something, baby. Let's get it.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is good back at home. I'm also good this side, man. Guys, welcome back to my show. My name is Anele Sokapase, ne? aka Uta Ace, aka Uta Mapega, inja ye game, inja yempilo. Okabadia, uphunyuka kabamphethe. Guys, you're supposed to know this by now, right? If you don't know, where have you been, man? You need to catch up, right? Yeah, man. Guys, like I said, welcome back, man, to my show. Guys, in season 1, right, I mentioned that I'm going to use my life story, right, to inspire you guys. I'm going to use my story to motivate you guys and also to give glory to God. And I believe that, in season 1, that is exactly what I did, right? Now, I did that on purpose because it was my way of introducing myself to the world, to my audience, right? So that they can be familiar, man, about my background, about my story, like I said, but to also help them to understand, in terms of my views, so that they can understand when I say something or I express something, they can, understand where I'm coming from, So it was very important to share my life story so that I can share my views, my beliefs, my values, my principles, man. Yeah, so that's exactly, man, what I did in season 1, right? And I recommend that if you have not watched season 1, right, it's okay to watch season 2, but please make time to go back and check out season 1. That's where the source is, right? All right, but in terms of season 2 and moving forward, right, I'll be discussing the lessons that I've learned during my life journey, from where I come from to where I am right now, right? And man, life is a continuous journey. We continue to learn, by the day, right? And like they said, man, life is the best teacher, right? So, which brings me to today's session, right? To today's topic. I believe that, today's topic, man, is probably going to be my favorite topic to talk about, right? Why? Because I believe that, if you have heard my story in season 1, like I said, it kind of, sums up my life story, man, which has been about ups and downs, highs and lows, man, falling down and getting back up so many times, right? So that never say die attitude, all right? So which is what I'm going to talk about today, right? So today's topic, it's about overcoming adversity, All right. So I don't want to waste your time, man. I'm looking forward to today's session. So let's get into it. All right. So I'm going to set it off, man, by, if someone asks me, that is, what is your key ingredient in terms of your success, right? I will gladly tell them, man, that it's all about overcoming adversity, right? Because in life, guys, you cannot have a testimony without a test. Can I say that again? In life, you cannot have a testimony without a test. Why? Because I believe that adversity is one of the key ingredients in your success journey, right? And or to become the person who you're supposed to be, right? In order to walk in your purpose. You need it in order to shape you for the life that you want, right? Now, I know that nobody wants to go through pain, right? And no one enjoys suffering, especially if it's unfair, right? But for some of the stuff that we go through, right, it can be self-inflicted due to bad choices and bad decisions. We have to take accountability for those, right? Like I've said so many times, this podcast is not for a pity party. I'm also here to hold you accountable, right? So we have to be honest, man, and be willing to take the blame for where we have messed up, right? So yeah, man, guys, let's get into it, right? But in terms of my career, right, I'm in the petrochemical industry, right? I work in the lab, so that means I analyze samples for a living, right? And now, before I give those results to my customers, I have to make sure that those results are reliable, right? Now, that means that I have to interpret those results, based on the method requirements. And most importantly, check the trend analysis, right? Now, talking about the trend, when it comes to God, I've noticed that he has a tendency of using adversity when he wants to bless you or when he wants to build your character. It's a trend. Check your Bible. He takes you through all these challenges and obstacles, knowing that you have what it takes to overcome them. I mean, in the Bible, it also says that he won't give you a burden you cannot carry, right? But I feel like the problem with you is you tend to give up too soon, or you want to face these challenges alone. You're not going to make it that far, my brother or my sister. You need to turn to God, right? This thing, to be honest with you, is spiritual. You need to understand that this thing is spiritual and not physical. And if you are someone who only views things only in the physical, you are screwed, my brother. Why? Because God is a spiritual being. And when it comes to him, logic doesn't apply. Right? So, yeah, man, this is how I feel. I feel like, we all have to go through the same refining. Gold has to go through the fire. Pressure makes diamonds, So, I remember the other day, right, I told my wife that I feel like the moment you go through something that is unfair, something you didn't ask for, right? Now, those are the types of problems that you need in your life. That's the type of problem that's going to shape you. That's your Goliath. Face him. Don't run away. You see, you have to see Goliath as an opportunity. David did it. And this is how he reached his destiny. Right? Yeah, man, that's how I feel. But you tell me this. Do you think what happened to Joseph was fair? getting thrown into a pit, getting sold to slavery. You know, by who, you ask? His own brothers. So can you say also that you're not the first person to have family problems? I mean, getting thrown in jail unfairly, you know? And all of this happened before he became a prime minister in Egypt, second in command. I mean, Jesus doesn't get the throne without the cross. And I believe that this is the reason why he's asking you to carry your cross daily and follow him. Why, Dais? He tested it. He knows the end result. Glory is waiting for you on the other side. A big blessing is waiting for you, my friend. Right? Man, I hate to break it to you, you know. Unfortunately, this is how the world works. You know, this is how the world works, right? We all have to go through the fire. No, you're not bewitched. Even if you are, so what? It's all part of the process. You just need to trust the process. And I always say, you know, a lot of people, they tend to give up when they are almost there. Attacks become greater when your breakthrough is near. Right? Why? Do you honestly think that the devil will just let you win just like that? No, my friend. Winners are people who didn't give up. They kept it going for one more day, one more week, one more month, one more year. Giving up was not an option. And let me tell you something about that giving up, right? That giving up guarantees that this thing will never happen. You have to keep the hope alive for this thing to happen. Right? Let's get one thing straight, guys. You will get tested for the life that you say you want to live. Let's not get it twisted. The question is, are you going to stand on business or not? Do you just talk the talk or you're going to walk the walk? You say, I believe that the struggle that you are facing is just a test to see if you are who you say you are. Are you about that life now? You understand? And if not, please make sure, man, that you step aside, because we're going to run you over. Because we are lions, baby. We are dogs. Okay? We are dogs. All right? So, yeah, man, this is how I feel about that. And, you know, this reminds me now of this tattoo that I have on my arm, you know, which says, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. You know, so in general, life is going to be hard regardless, bro. Right? Whether you choose to settle for the life of lack and mediocrity, or you choose to go after your dreams, it's going to be hard either way. So from me to you, choose your hard wisely. I mean, great things take time, bro. And this is why you will value that thing when you receive it. Easy come, easy go. Right? Now, you know what? I think, you know what? Let's just bring it more current. Let's just bring it, to me, right? You say this podcast, man, is not born if it wasn't for all the trials and tribulations that I had to endure, that I still endure. New levels, new devils, right? But I learned that those problems were not there to kill me, but instead They were there to help me grow into this Anele that you see today. Those obstacles gave me the wisdom that I'm using now in order to motivate you. I'm using the same challenges to inspire you. And you wonder why they say God works in mysterious ways. I understand. I mean, in the Bible, God said, man, you don't know what I'm doing now, but one day you'll understand. And let me tell you something, bro. Now I understand. All those obstacles, all those challenges, they were all worth it. I am who I am because of those challenges. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for those challenges. Right? But I had to step up, bro. I had to show up and show out. And guess what? I did it with tears in my eyes, with the doubt in my mind, with the fear in my heart. You know why? Because I was not looking for pity. Right? Now, you know, for some of you are chosen and anointed by God because you've got a bigger purpose. You are being separated for a reason. And so you are going through so much because your calling is higher. You have a big calling with a big reward attached to it. Why that is? Because to whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. So this is why you are going through such difficulties, man. God is preparing you. Do not resist the pruning. I repeat, do not resist the pruning. You know, even with me, man, you know, in the beginning, I didn't understand this thing, right? I kept asking myself, why me? I mean, what did I do to deserve all of this? Until I realized that it wasn't a punishment. God needed to know if he can trust me with this podcast eventually, one day. Right? So, as a chosen one, you have to go through the isolation and preparation process. And it can be a very painful process. Trust me. But it's needed. It's needed. Why? Because, I mean, you see, my purpose is simple. God takes me through all these trials and tribulations, gets me through them, so that I can sit here and be an example of his power and also motivate you, right? So that you don't freak out, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. I mean, come on. A young boy born in a shack, raised in a village, walked barefoot to school, no father figure, raised by a single mother, you know, went back to the city just to bounce from one apartment to the other because we couldn't afford the rent. Got evicted eventually. Went on to stay at a friend's place. You know, dropped out of school. Couldn't afford school fees. I remember my mom passed away in my first year in varsity. Being abandoned by my extended family. Forced to heal by myself. So, you know, if you told me that one day I'll be sitting here doing this show, I would have told you that you're out of your mind. Straight up, man. Because this shit doesn't make sense. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, that when God is involved, things are not going to make sense. Things are not going to make sense, bro. Right? What did I say about that logic? It doesn't apply. Your circumstances tell you that you need to go this way, right? Not that way. God tells you now, that way is where you're supposed to be going. So it won't make sense, right? So if someone asks me, but Ace, tell me, how did you overcome all those adversities? The few that you have mentioned. For me, man, I had a big vision, bro. And a strong why. Right? I mean, I was tired of poverty because I grew up poor. Right? I know a lot about hitting rock bottom. Right? I also come from a dysfunctional family background. I told you, my mother was not married, so there was no father figure. And the worst part is, I don't even have a relationship with my two brothers. You see what I mean? Just to name a few things, And fast forward years later, I got married to this beautiful young lady. Peaches. Hey, man. I'm happily married with 4 kids because I wanted to create a stable environment for them. But most importantly, I wanted them to, not wanted, but I want them to have a healthy relationship with each other, meaning the kids, right? Love one another, care for one another, and most importantly, support each other, man. Now you understand why our marriage is important to us, so that it can also be exemplary to those kids. So yeah, man, to me, it's all about that big vision and that strong why. Because let me tell you, that vision is going to hold you accountable. That vision is going to haunt you. And it's also going to serve as a reminder when you are going through those challenges. Be it in your work environment, in your business, or even in your marriage. Right? So for me, man, it's all about that big vision and the strong why. Right? And the other thing I will tell you is, you have to be a positive person. You gotta have a positive outlook in life no matter what. Bad things happen, man, to everyone. Now, you can't afford to add to that, right? By being negative. You can't, bro. Right? The other thing I will tell you is, you have to be resilient. You gotta be resilient in life, right? I mean, bro, it's a cold world out there. You can't afford to be a crybaby. You gotta have a thick skin, man. You gotta have that dog in you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And the other thing that is very important, I was thinking of something else. But maybe let me rather mention it before I go to this one. The other determining factor is how bad do you want this? What do these dreams and goals mean to you? Do you want it or not? Guys, I'm only here for people who know what they want in life. I'm only here for dream chasers. This is why I have a dream chasers tattoo, because I'm a dream chaser. I'm not here for people who don't know what they want, who still need to decide. No, I don't have time for that, my brother. I'm only here for people who look like me, who were like me, who wanted this thing from the get-go, even if it was not clear. Those are the people whom I believe will be able to resonate with me, with my message, right? To show them that it's possible, bro. I'm a living proof of that, and through God, right? Now, before I forget, the other thing that is very important is your belief system. I'm going to repeat again. One of the most important things is your belief system. You see, what you think of yourself, how you view yourself, matters. And it will show. It will show. You see, you gotta have that lion mentality, that lion mindset, right? I remember, man, my wife, sent me this video of the late, great Dr. Myles Munroe, where he was breaking down, the concept of a lion mindset, right? I shed a tear, man, after listening to that. It's a 30-minute clip. I still remember because I watched it so many times. I shed a tear, man, after watching that. You know why? Because it resonated a lot with me, a lot with my story. And I understood why I've always viewed myself as a lion, right? And if you come to my house, I've got a big lion picture there on the wall. Even in the entrance, in front of the main entrance, right? I've got 2 lion statues there. Funny enough, I even refer to my family as a lion pride. Why? Because it's all about that lion mindset. That's what I'm trying to instill in all of them, starting with my lioness. If I've got my lioness with me, it's over, right? So yeah, man. So your what you call? Your belief system matters, man. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the link to that video I'm talking about by Dr. Myles to the description of this episode, right? So that he explains it better than I can, guys. So that's what I'm going to try and do for you, right? If I don't forget, I'll add in the description. Go and check it out, guys. It will change your life, right? Now, the other thing I want you to remember always, right? There is always a lesson behind every problem. You see, in life, you are going to lose from time to time. It's nice to win, but you learn the best lessons from those losses, right? I cannot stress that one any better, right? Now, maybe the last thing that I can mention, because I don't want to make this episode very long, right? The last thing that I want to mention to you, and I feel it's also important, especially when you come from the same or similar circumstances that I come from, you need to get rid of that victim mentality. You need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. How many times now I have told you that this podcast is not for a pity party, bro? If you are looking for pity, guys, feeling sorry for yourself, it's not going to help. Bad things happen to everyone in this world. Someone is going through something one way or the other, right? There's no time, bro. There's no time. The society is waiting for you to feel sorry so that they can say, no, my child, don't worry. Come sit here with us. Don't worry, we understand. Anyway, what were you thinking? No one in this family has ever achieved what you were thinking of. No, don't worry. We don't think you are crazy for giving up. There's more of us here. So the society, will understand. But that's not what I wanted to settle for. I didn't have that victim mentality. Like I said, even though I didn't understand why these things were happening to me. I mean, if you remember, before I even lose my train of thought, I shared in season 1 that, a few years before my mom's passing, I remember she said something like, this was now late in high school, maybe in matric or standard 9, right? Anele, I worry. She was just confiding in me for some reason that day. And then she said, Anela, I worry that what worries me is I don't know who's going to take care of you when I'm gone. Hey, one of this lady, this woman. You understand what I'm saying? And funny enough, I've went on to live that life, that half years. I still do. Right? So bad things started happening, so that I felt that I don't deserve. But who am I to say that? I remember asking another lady there in Limpopo, she goes to the Catholic Church, Umea Marshane, I hope I pronounce it correct. We went to her, she's a prophet, right? We went to her, me and my wife. We discussed whatever, but in the end, I asked the man, why are all these bad things happening to me? Why I'm being treated like this, like an outcast by my family or this and that? Why do I even struggle to make friends, from time to time? What's going on, man? Do I have isnyama? What do they call isnyama? Is it bad omen? Something like that, I think, right? And then she said, but what did Jesus do to deserve all of that? Right? That treatment. What did he do? And then that opened my eyes. Right? And then she said, the issue with you, meaning me, is you are a follower of Christ. And I think somewhere in the Bible, it says, remember, when you are going through these things, remember, if the world hates you, remember it hated me first. You understand what I'm saying, bro? So, and that uplifted my spirit, man. That changed. Not to say I was someone who was feeling sorry for myself, but I was just questioning this thing, right? No one wants to be hated, I believe, right? We all want to be liked, right? So when stuff like that happens, you don't understand, right? So, but it put things into perspective for me, right? So that opened my eyes, man. Like I'm saying, you say now, she told me that thing years ago, but I still remember it till this day, right? Because it opened my arms. It opened my eyes, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you, that feeling sorry for yourself doesn't solve anything, bro. Everyone is going through something, unfortunately, right? So yeah, man, you need to get rid of that victim mindset, right? Now, you say, guys, when it comes to pursuing your success, so your mindset is very important. It's very important. I won't lie to you, right? You need to stop seeing adversity as a problem. You need to start viewing adversity as an opportunity. An opportunity to do what? To grow and learn. You need to turn that pain into power. You need to turn that pain into paper. What do they say, man? When life gives you lemons, take those lemons and make lemonade. I don't understand why people just give up. Just give up. Like I said, because everyone goes through something one way or the other. If you were alone, you were going through it alone, then we can understand and say life is unfair. You see, the struggle, what I've learned about the struggle, it doesn't choose the race or the gender. It just hits everyone, right? Guys, I know life can be tough and you can have your back against the wall, right? But instead of shrinking and going into your shell, right? You need to get up, man, and push back. You can't be down, right, and hit rock bottom like I did. But here's my message to you. Never allow yourself to be out. Never allow yourself to be out of the game of life. Invite God into your struggle. God wants to see in those moments, are you going to rely on Him or you're going to choose to rely on your strength? Nah. You get what I'm saying, bro? So that's how I feel about that, man. And I want you to always remember also that difficult times create what? Strong people. And also, difficult times, they never last. But strong people do. Always remember that, bro. Right? You know, on a lighter note, man, you know, this thing now, on a lighter note, this thing reminds me of the NBA 2016 finals, right? Meaning basketball now, right? The Cavs versus Golden State Warriors. LeBron James' team is the Cavs, right? And they were down 3-1 in the series, right? The series is best of 7, right? And you know what they were saying, right? The basketball fans will know this, will remember this. They said that no team in the finals has ever overcame a 3-1 deficit. So you see the stakes were high, bro. They were high. Just like in your family, bro. This is what they are saying about you. What makes you think you can achieve the things that you are trying to achieve? Who the hell do you think you are? This is what they are telling you, bro. This is why they don't support you. This is why they don't put their arm around you, right? So, yeah, man. So go out there and conquer. Overcome this adversity, right? So back to my basketball story. My friend, this is LeBron James we're talking about here. If he loses here, the GOAT debate between him and Michael Jordan is over and done with, right? I've never seen an athlete in sports history having faced such scrutiny, you know, in his whole career, right? Long story short, the Cavs managed to make the comeback and won the NBA Finals, right? They made history. And LeBron, man, you know what he did, right? He led in every statistical category, right? Broke all those records. Go James. Go James. Now you know where I stand on the GOAT debate. Don't be in your feelings. Come on now. Right? And I remember, man, I'm saying that to say this. I remember LeBron James' speech after that game. He said, against all odds, I don't know why I want to take the hardest road. I don't know why the big man above gave me the hardest road. But it's nothing that the big man above will put you in difficult situations that you cannot handle. And I just kept that positive attitude and said, instead of asking, why me? And said, this is what he will want me to do. Right? And then he continued to say, Cleveland, this is for you. Ow! All my basketball fans, man, they can relate, right? Don't tell me you can't remember that moment, man. It was the best moment in basketball history, right? So, yeah, man. And with that being said, guys, you know, I want to close my show, man, by dedicating today's episode, man, to my wife. And, you know, tell her that, you know, I know that we have been tested, you know, in our relationship / marriage, right? over and over and over again for as long as we've been together. But we're still here, baby. We're growing from strength to strength. And you know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful that we didn't give up on what we have. You see, our marriage is our championship. Why? Because everything that we have, we got it from this marriage. It came out of this marriage, right? So with that being said, man, I want to say, Tsubek, this is for you. Ow! Yo, Nkosi yami, nkosikazi wami uzondibulala for le. Mntu uyaphambana, yazi. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just wanted to, to give a shout out to my wife, for standing by me, man. Even through all these difficulties that we've been through together, man, we had to be strong for one another. Sometimes the other person was weak, while the other one, had to gather strength for both. We were doing this. But we've managed to pull through, man. And so I want to send a shout out, to the queen, to the lioness. I know that if I have my lioness besides me, man, anything is possible, right? So with that being said, guys, I think we've come to the end of today's episode, and I want to leave you with this. I want to remind you that, when it comes to all those setbacks, always remember that all those setbacks are just a setup, right, for a big comeback. You're gonna make a big comeback, baby. Don't worry about it. Just keep at it, man. Put your head down and keep grinding. Guys, we've come to the end of our episode, man. Thank you for tuning in today. Before I go, man, kindly subscribe to our channel, like our videos, share our videos, please, man. And also, don't be afraid, guys. I want to see more comments. I want to see more comments in the comment section. Don't be afraid, man. Tell us how you feel about today's episode, Yeah, man. So now it's time to love you and leave you, guys. From nothing to something, baby.